Brandon Ingram has broken out this season with the New Orleans Pelicans and has shown that he has a lot of potential to be a big-time scorer in the league. After being traded from the Los Angeles Lakers, he was given the keys to be the first option on this team, the young Pelicans team, and he completely ran with it. His play this season gave him his first NBA All-Star appearance, and also the Pelicans are currently in the run-in to grab the 8th seed, with him and Zion Williamson at the helm. Prior to the season, Lonzo Ball was my favorite to win Most Improved Player, and Lonzo did grow as a player, but little did I know his teammate Brandon Ingram would take leaps to help this young Pelicans team. Brandon Ingram can score the basketball, and each year we saw progression and leaps in terms of scoring, but Ingram hasn't been more confident as a scorer then as he is now. Before I start this video, if you do like the video, please do give it a like and comment. It really helps support the channel. This is a channel meant to spark a conversation around the league, and the more people in that conversation, the better. Also, I'm running a hot takes series centered around looking into takes around the NBA from you guys. If you have a hot take and want a video made on it, please do comment one in the comment section, and I'd look into making a video on it in the future. With all this being said, please subscribe to the channel, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Brandon Ingram has been the engine that drove the New Orleans Pelicans this season. He has emerged as a star in his own right, and he is completely running with it. It should be noted that he has played a majority of his games at the power forward position, but also has transitioned back into the small forward position when Zion Williamson returned. The 6'7" Slenderman forward has averaged 24.3 points, 4.3 assists, and 6.3 rebounds on 46% from the field, 38% from 3, and 85% from the free throw line. His overall true shooting percentage on the season is at 59%, which is a career high for him, all efficient numbers throughout the board. This is all in 34 minutes a game, and throughout his career, Ingram has played close to or more than 30 minutes a game. The only difference between him being on the Lakers and Pelicans is that he is now the first option of this Pelicans team. So he has taken most of the shots and has a good amount of possessions with the ball in his hands. Brandon Ingram's three-point shooting has taken off this season. He's shooting at 38%. He has increased his three-point attempts from taking only 2 last season to now this season taking around 6 per game. On this season, Ingram has attempted 354 threes and connected on a total of 137 threes. Prior to being on the Pelicans, he wasn't too comfortable taking three-pointers, and his percentages were up and down. Now Ingram is very keen on launching it from deep, and he has impacted his scoring average just by doing this. He has improved so much as a catch-and-shoot shooter. This is where a majority of his threes comes from, and he is shooting it at 41% in catch-and-shoot situations. Majority of his threes are usually assisted by guys like Lonzo Ball, Drew Holiday, and JJ Redick. He is good at moving off the ball to spot up for a shot, and he is so much more confident and in rhythm spotting up for a shot than he was in the past. With the Lakers, his shot looked a bit slower and he wasn't all too consistent with his form, but now it is much quicker and smooth. He shoots the three majority of the times above the break, and from there he is shooting at a good clip at 37%. From the corners, the left three-point corner, he shoots it at 43%, and from the right three-point corner, he shoots it at 40%. He takes a decent amount of threes from the corners. The left corner, he attempted around 53 threes on the season and made 23 of them, and the right corner, he attempted 44 threes and made 18 of them. He isn't a guy that's going to spot up and launch it from deep or from the logo. His range isn't all too crazy, but he can shoot threes over anyone given his wingspan, and Ingram has such a high release point that it is difficult to try and block his shots. Like when his shot is contested, it doesn't even faze him most of the times. In terms of shooting threes in pull-up or off the dribble situations, this is an area he needs to improve in. He doesn't take too much of these, only attempted 58 pull-up threes on the season and only made 15 of them, shooting it at 25%. This is an area where all great scorers have down pat. Jason Tatum, James Harden, Kevin Durant. These guys are good at pulling up from 3 and keeping the defense constantly on their heels. If Ingram can create off the dribble from 3 and just casually knock down a 3-pointer in your face, it is going to be a nightmare guarding him for the future, because trying to block or contest his shot is already difficult as it is. There are times this season where he has shown flashes of that, but he is quickly getting adjusted to his recent tweaks of his shot that I wouldn't be surprised if he started pulling up at a high level soon. His free throw shooting has taken huge leaps. In his last season with the Lakers, he shot it at 67% from the free throw line. This season, he is shooting his free throws at 85%. This is a huge increase, and he is basically getting to the line the same amount of times he did with the Lakers, attempting free throws at least 6 a game. Ingram has really come into his own this season as a shooter, and it's great to see the improvements he made to become a now very respectable shooter. Ingram is also very good at working in the mid-range. Here we see a lot of his off-ball movements as well as on-ball creation come to light. He shoots it at 40% around the mid-range area of the court. He works really well in pick and roll situations, and this is where he can easily get into his mid-range shot from there. He is good at driving, pulling up for a jumper, or turnaround fadeaway shots. He also has a step back jumper in his arsenal, capable of posting up and hitting a fadeaway over you. Very good creator in the mid-range, and it is growing to be an area where he works off of to get in a consistent rhythm. He has a variety of change of pace moves. He uses hesitation moves that keeps the defenders constantly guessing. As discussed earlier with his pull-up threes, if Ingram can transition his mid-range pull-ups into 3-point pull-ups and shoot it at a higher clip, he's going to be even more of a big-time scorer. This is the same transition Jason Tatum took with his shots, and I covered this more in my How Good Is Jason Tatum video. And yes, this is a small plug for you guys to watch that video, so please watch that video. Ingram has worked well as an isolation scorer, and since his 3-point shot is consistent and defenders have to respect it, this opens up his driving game, and he is able to create shots at the rim for himself at a good amount of times. His length also helps with him dunking majority of his shots, as well as finishing over anyone. He has this ability to be unpredictable with the ball in his hands, and it helps him a lot blowing by opponents. Is he going to take the 3-point shot? Is he going to drive and take a mid-range shot? Always has his defender questioning what he's going to do next. He is very good at dribbling the basketball. His handle is good, allowing him to create offense for himself at his size, especially driving to the rim. They listed him as 6'7", but to be honest, he looks like he's 6'9". He looks way taller than 6'7", and this helps him a lot in scoring over a lot of guys in the league. In the restricted area, he shoots it at 63%. He can work a bit more finishing in the paint area, where he shoots it at 37%, but overall when taking layup shots, he has been okay at converting them, 55% on converting his layups. He uses mostly his physical tools, being his length, to finish over players. There are times where he is bumped off center or sometimes shies away from contact, and he isn't all too crafty with his finishes. He takes very long strides to the rim, which throws off a defender's timing, giving him easy opportunities to convert his shots at the rim. He has a good balance of working in the mid-range, 3, and driving. So there's not really one area of his game he favors more so than the others. He can score from anywhere around the court. Ingram is also a very good playmaker and passer. He is able to create plays on the ball just by being aggressive and looking to score. His ability to score opens up looks for his teammates, which he is able to get on time and on the money. His driving ability and just looking to attack the rim has opened up shots for his teammates. He's good at reading plays. He isn't going to be crazy as a passer, making advanced reads. I don't think he is there yet as a player, but he has shown the willingness and the simple reads that helps get his teammates buckets. He's good at finding cutters, shooters. He makes the right play the majority of the time. This is why this Pelicans young core is so very good and scary. Since Alonzo and Drew Holiday operates as the main playmakers of this team, Ingram is able to operate as another playmaker, and those guys work very well in reading the defense and getting passes to each other. I haven't even mentioned the capable passer that Zion Williamson is if he gets his share of touches. Ingram is so good as a scorer and playmaker that a guy like Zion Williamson is really going to benefit from playing with him, especially working together in the pick and roll. Ingram working in the pick and roll not only is able to get his shots off for himself, but is able to find open guys, whether that be a roll man or an open three-point shooter. Ingram is still developing physically as a player. His defense is still very questionable. At this point, he is an average, bordering below average defender. This is an area he needs to improve in a lot. He does get a good amount of blocks and steals due to his length and is able to pick off passes reading the passing lane, but he isn't consistent at this. Off ball, he gets lost a lot. He gets beat most of the times by a cutter. He just doesn't seem all too engaged defensively. At times, he looks to gamble on plays, get out of position most of the times, and when matched on someone who is quicker, he struggles to defend them. Ingram tries playing on-ball defense, but hasn't figured it all out yet to stand his ground against other players. There is potential given his size, and it's strange because he showed strides on the defensive end when he was with the Lakers, but he regressed a bit this season. It could be a new role for the team's offense he had, new responsibilities, so he may not be all too locked in defensively. At this point of Ingram's young career, he is a facilitating scorer who needs to improve strength-wise as well as defensively. He's only 22 years old and has finally come into his own, so he still has more years to improve on his game. I'm glad to see the improvements from Ingram because in college he showed flashes of being a legit scorer. To wrap this all up, the trade with the Lakers and Pelicans benefited Ingram in the long run. He got away from a franchise that was looking to rush his development, and he overall just didn't fit with LeBron James. It happens. Ingram is much of an on-ball player, so is LeBron, so their games weren't a match for each other. It benefited Ingram because he is on a young team that has grown with other talent, and he is being trusted with the ball in his hands. With Ingram's improvements this season, he will no doubt be a star for the Pelicans for years to come.